this is a pretty cool stat right here. I dig this one from our guy Hound Dog Harrison, our stats guy extraordinaire. Ravens have rushed for at least 100 yards in 40 straight games, 3 games away from matching their own record and a record held by the Steelers for the most 100-yard rushing games in NFL history. You got to believe they're going to break that record with Derrick Henry there, and that's 5 straight wins for the Ravens. So, Luke, they've now beaten the Cowboys, the Bills, the Bengals, the Commanders, and now the Bucs. Just how impressive a run has this been for you?
And you just said it. Against those 5 teams, and outside of a second half, really, against the Cowboys, and the Bengals gave them a lot, but offensively, no one has come close to stopping this team. And it is ridiculous how well they are operating. Derrick Henry has turned back the clock. And to me, I think he's been the kind of final piece because Lamar's been MVP. This has been a very good, great offense at times. But you add a guy like this into the fold and what he's able to do. And even we talked about the first half, him being slowing down a little bit. That just opens up things like this. I mean, Rashad Bateman now is getting into the action. Zay Flowers had a quiet night. A couple weeks ago, this guy had 100. You got 2 very good receivers, and we can talk about Mark Andrews. Look at this route. Boom, man coverage, we're still getting it done. You can say the guy's lost a step, but Jay, you alluded to it. He's back. 2 touchdowns tonight, 1 in zone, 1 in man coverage. Great red zone weapon.
If people thought he was done,
they
might have forgotten about the injuries, right, over the past couple of seasons that he's had to overcome.
Exactly, and he's the most comfortable target for Lamar. He has, the biggest chemistry with them. So in dire moments, red zone, you're going to find him. And you sit here, like I said, you got 2 receivers that are both playing well, chipping in, having big games, and can be explosive. Lamar's Lamar. I mean, this guy, if we can just clean up the whole snap situation, it's been a few of those this year, we're pretty much flawless. But Derrick Henry, whether he's on the field running the ball or just on the field, his presence is such a big ordeal because nobody in the NFL wants to be ran on. That's the first thing every defensive coordinator says. We got to buckle up. Derrick Henry's coming to town. And if you load the box up with this team, they're going to go over the top with Rashad Bateman. If you try and condense the field, you're going to hit the edges with Zay Flowers. And just the chef's kiss here is Lamar's just going to do whatever he wants because he's the best athlete in the NFL. And that's how you have this absolute tear of a run they're on right now.
They are unbelievable as far as offense is concerned. Tampa started the year so good. We've talked about it. Baker looked so comfortable. But a massive part of their offense, obviously, for the last few years, no matter who's the quarterback, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, both forced to leave the game. How different does this team look without those guys in the lineup?
It's completely the opposite of what's going on right now.
Right.
You look at how they've won games, and they've done better this year running the football. That's been an emphasis, and it has looked a lot better. But the bread and butter of this team is throwing the football to Mike Evans and throwing the football to Chris Godwin. And to lose not just one of those guys, but both for what looks like extended periods is going to be very, very tough. Now, Cade Otton came in here, the tight end, looked electric, made some big catches. But Mike Evans specifically is a generational guy. I mean, he's putting up numbers and stats year in and year out that are unparalleled.
They are talking about him as a Hall of Famer at this point.
And he's definitely flirting with that situation. So you lose that kind of talent. You lose Godwin today. Again, we don't know the timeline. And what does this offense become? I think it's going to be very different. They're obviously going to struggle to score as many points. It's going to be a lot tougher on Baker. He's going to have to make a lot of plays with his feet now kind of off schedule. And I don't think they have the strongest defense. Again, it's been better. It's kind of middle of the pack. But now you're really going to have to score 25 points a game because your defense is going to give up 21 plus every game. And it's a huge blow. It's not good.
You alluded to something when we were going through the highlights. Mike Evans, it's so tough with a player. You've been in these situations. He's such a competitor. He wants to play. Should they have taken him out of the lineup really right at the beginning there? Because that would have avoided that much more serious hamstring injury.
Again, I'm going back to personal experience here. I might have had a hamstring back in the day as I was getting older, and they used to say to us that the hamstring is one of those things that will linger, and if it's starting to just grab a bit, it's only a matter of time until it fully goes. So it's weird to me to see after that first drive when he's kind of like, wincing a little bit. And I don't know exactly what he's wincing about, but he's kind of grabbing that leg. And the next thing for all the physiotherapists out there is I've been told, this is what I've been told, it's not me, that generally speaking, if you're favoring one thing, you're putting load on another, and that's when injuries happen. So I think that's a fair statement. I get the guy's a competitor. He's going to keep himself in there. But someone on that staff needs to say, hey, he's not right, and he's at risk of injury. and missing a lot of games, which is going to bury our season in a division where you're still technically in the division race,
Sure.
and now your record is, but you're not.